and welcome to this week's What's Hot, when defence stocks are still reacting to an extraordinary weekend of politics and the art of playing diplomacy. Now, my brother reminded me about the game of Risk that we used to play together in the 1980s. This was the board game created some 70 years ago when it was known as La Conquête du Monde, or the conquest of the world. How life is now imitating art. Mind you, those vintage board games may just have become more valuable due to those Trump tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and board game maker China. The trade wars, which are putting a dampener on the markets when I record this, which is Tuesday, March the 4th, almost a reversal of the gains that we saw at the start of the week when the FTSE 100 hit a record high. Rolls-Royce and BAE Systems responding to the 5,000 defence missiles being pledged by the UK to assist Ukraine. Now, aside from the Ukraine, the company that will immediately benefit is the France Euronext listed Thales. Well, here in the UK, shares in BAE Systems adding 14.5%. Unlikely that the shares were responding to the diary event of the company announcing it had published its 2024 annual report. However, it is a good read nonetheless, and shareholders in aerospace and defence company Rolls-Royce seeing that stock rising 4.4% last week. The company started a share buyback program to return up to £1 billion to shareholders. Well, as I said, today is Tuesday, the 4th of March, and it's results season with plenty of investor updates to digest, which brings me to Greggs. Now, a well-dodgy pub I went in and out of just as quickly when I was 18 is now a Greggs in Hartlepool, and it's much busier now than it ever was as a hostelry. Now, this is the business that's more than sausage rolls, with a commitment to have at least 32% of its offerings as healthy options in 2024. It opened a record 226 new stores. It's got cash. It's sharing £20 million amongst its workers, but shares falling 10% on the back of the trading update. The company admits that increases in employment taxes will significantly increase its wage bill, and sales are slowing. So are investors' appetites being whetted by the offerings coming from Africa. Blencowe Resources telling investors that a Tier 1 investment bank, African Finance Corporation, was interested in helping out with its funding for its Orham Cross graphite project in Uganda that will possibly circumvent equity dilution for its investors. And 4,700 kilometers west, we come to Gabon, where Westminster Group has signed a 15-plus year contract for security services to 4 airports in the country. The contract is expected to generate revenues of about $5.5 million in the first 12 months of operation. Shares rose 27% on the back of that news. Well, I hope you're well, and I hope that Trump's tantrums don't continue to determine the direction of the markets. But who knows? Take care. See you same time next week.